Hey guys, welcome back to Table Talk. If fans are saying Devon won against Gennady in the first match and lost because he was robbed by the referees, then people can also say that Kurdecha won the match and was robbed by the referees. Let's analyze the match and see where it went wrong for Devon, even though he still managed to win. It really looked like Devon was trying hard to trash talk during the match, probably because he likes Alex a lot. As the match progressed, it was Devon who seemed to be gassing out a bit. Alex, on the other hand, actually showed very good endurance, just like he did in the Morozov match. In the first round, it looked like Alex was going for an inside attack, something like a shoulder press or hook. But it was actually similar to what Devon did against Hermes, supinated rise for the top roll. However, Alex's wrist was lagging behind and was not comparable to Devon's. What's surprising is that Alex kept setting up in the position Devon wanted him to be in, a position where Devon could do really well. Alex's wrist was nearly straight or slightly extended, just by millimeters, but he was still doing that same supinated rise. Alex should never do that against Devon, unless he has very strong pronation. The reason for using that move is to secure your cup and rise through their hand, which weakens opponent's cup, allowing better access to the rise. From Alex's perspective, what he did actually makes some sense. The only way to make Devon completely powerless is by taking away his pronation or by giving up the cup and accessing the brachioradialis. Considering the first scenario, Alex needed to make sure he could secure his cup while going sideways. Maybe he thought he could crack Devon's wrist based on their practice pulls, even though Devon would likely still maintain some degree of pronation. But this is where Alex got trapped. His pronation wasn't strong enough to even straighten Devon's wrist. In other words, Alex's wrist was compromised so badly that his control over pronation dropped significantly. The multi-spinner definitely played its part here. Devon set up a kind of low-hand top roll, not a fully dropped, but with his knuckles still kept low. The thing about the low-hand top roll is that all the energy you're using is going directly into rotation through the thumb or pronation, especially during the initiation. The power doesn't get split between rising and pronation like it does in a standard high hand setup. Devon needs to make sure his entire pronation is applied directly to Alex's wrist. And where have we seen Devon do this before? Yes, in the Hermes match. Devon's setup in this match was almost exactly the same as what he used against Hermes. Another thing Devon does, intentionally or not, is constantly bring the center closer to him. The low hand setup actually reduces your leverage. Alex has a slightly longer forearm than Devon, so this setup helps Devon by pulling the center line toward his side. Leverage really plays a huge role in getting a fair center. I explained this in the analysis video of the Michael Todd versus Vitali match. Even though Devon brought the center line closer to himself, his angle was still more open than Kurdecha's. Why? Because Kurdecha understood the leverage game and brought his shoulder forward to compensate, or for the supinated rise setup. But in the end, trying to top roll Devon doesn't help him. And if someone asks me how strong Devon's pronation is, I'll just show them this part of the match. Guy just can open Kurdecha from the center and presses just like he did to Hermes. After he got the second foul in round 2, Alex tested his flop press, and it actually gave him a result. He realized that. From then on, Devon struggled a lot more to hold Kurdecha. I truly believe what I'm saying. Kurdecha is physically strong enough to beat Devon, but made a few critical mistakes. If the roles were reversed, if Devon's mind were in Kurdecha's body and Kurdecha's mind in Devon's, I believe Kurdecha would have won that match without a doubt. I'm not saying Alex isn't smart, he is, but it was too late by the time he realized what actually works against Devon. As usual, Cristo made a mistake by calling Kurdecha's first foul as his second, wrongly giving the round to Devon. I believe Kurdecha should have won that round. Also in the third round, Devon's arm was completely below the table, with his humerus in a declined position. Kurdecha realized what was working and switched to a flop press, and Devon got cooked. Alex managed to completely straighten Devon's arm. To avoid being flopped again, Devon had to switch to a hook. But then Kurdecha got fouled for a small elbow pop. Now here's the problem. In many East versus West matches, that kind of small elbow pop usually isn't called a foul. What they typically consider a foul is when the elbow clearly leaves the pad, not just a slight lift. So honestly, the rules still feel inconsistent and need to be more clearly defined. These kinds of issues are happening at almost every event. Cristo has made some unique mistakes across multiple events. Of course, it's obvious that reffing an arm wrestling match is tough, but it should still be far more professional than it is right now. Sometimes it's hard to catch fouls in real time, and checking the replay for every match would make the live stream twice as long. It needs to be done more efficiently and quickly. If Devon's fans claim he actually won the first match against Gennady and was robbed by the referees, then by that same logic, people can argue that Kurdeka actually won this match and was robbed in a similar way. And Devon knows that. He knows people are going to say that. You can see he's not fully satisfied with the win, and he even asked for a rematch. And he got that. They have matches on both hands in the East versus West 19, which is going to happen on August 15th. Let's see what happens. That's all for today. See you later.